What distance is required for a vehicle to pass a bicycle if the bicyclist is traveling at 15 miles per hour and the vehicle is traveling at 25 miles per hour? So some of our assumptions here, we're going to assume a constant speed of the vehicle of 25 miles per hour and of the bicycle of 15 miles per hour. We'll also assume that the length of the car is 14 feet and the length of the bicycle is 6 feet. This is the type of maneuver that will happen. The vehicle will need to move over laterally to pass the bicycle, and both will be moving during this event. We also need to consider a buffer between the bicycle and the vehicle. NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, recommends a 3 to 4 second buffer when following a vehicle. And so if you apply that 4-second buffer, that's about 150 feet. So if you were the vehicle was approaching the bicycle before the passing was occurring, they would need a distance of about 150 feet. And so we do need to think about that lateral space. Our analysis, this example problem, is going to focus just on that overtaking. So when is there overlap between the motor vehicle and the bicycle? But we do also, again, if this was actually happening, we need to think about that buffer between the bicycle and vehicle longitudinally. Another thing we need to have in mind is the lateral distance. There needs to be some buffer or some distance between the bicycle and the vehicle laterally. Depending on your location, there are minimum distances required when that passing is occurring. The general concept, though, is you should provide as much room as you can, as much space as you can if you are in a vehicle, if you're the motorist passing a bicycle. But it's specific to the location you may be in, but the more distance and the more buffer you can give, the better. So, okay, focusing on our problem here now, again, we're only going to focus on this overtaking maneuver. So when there's overlap between the motor vehicle and the bicycle. So we need to worry about that combined distance. So we're going to have a combined length of overlap of 20 feet, which is the length of the motor vehicle and the length of the bicycle. And essentially what we want to make sure is we have room to clear the whole, both objects from the front bumper of the vehicle all the way through passing the full length of the bicycle to the rear bumper. So that's why we get 20 feet. The speed differential, and that's what we need to focus on for this overtaking portion, is 10 miles per hour. That's 25 miles per hour minus 15 miles an hour. And because we're using seconds and feet for here, we need to convert from miles per hour to feet per second. So 10 miles per hour is 14.66 feet per second. And to go 20 feet at that speed differential of 14.66 feet per second means that's going to have a duration of 1.36 seconds. So that's going to be the time that we have, and we're going to have a speed differential of 10 miles per hour. That's the difference in the speed between the bicycle and the vehicle. That's going to occur for a duration of 1.36 seconds. But then we know we want to look at the distance that vehicle is going to travel. So how long does that take that vehicle to make that full maneuver? So 1.3 seconds at 25 miles per hour, that's the speed of the vehicle. Converting that to feet per second is 36.66 feet per second. And that means that the vehicle is going to travel 50 feet while covering this overtaking maneuver. Again, that distance of 20 feet was the distance that needs to be overtaken with the length of the vehicle and the length of the bicycle at the speed differential of 10 miles per hour gives us a final answer of 50 feet is the portion of overtaking that occurs for this passing maneuver. Again, we also need to think about the buffers both longitudinally and laterally to provide a safe distance as the vehicle is approaching the bicycle to overtake it and pass it, as we're looking at in this example.